Hello, everyone. Welcome back to day two of Ready, Set, Job, your guide to career readiness. It's fantastic to see all of you here again, ready to dive deeper into crafting a resume that will make an impact in today's job market. Well, yesterday we explored the essential strategies for navigating the job search. Today we'll be building on that foundation by focusing specifically on resume structure and also some tailoring techniques. So, creating a strong resume is definitely a critical step in the job application process. After all, your resume is usually the first thing a recruiter sees. So, it's your chance to make that memorable first impression, and we're here to help you make it count. Today's session is packed with insights, practical advice, and hands on activities to empower you to create a resume that not only tells your story but aligns perfectly with the roles you're targeting. Our focus is all about combining structure and strategy to showcase your unique strengths while also tailoring your applications to fit specific job descriptions. So, here's an overview of what you can look forward today. First, we'll start with Mark, who will give us a detailed breakdown of each key section in a resume, from headers to work experience to skills. So this is an even like uh, deeper topic than our resume fundamentals from yesterday. So you'll learn exactly what to include and how to organize your information to make your resume clear, concise, and impactful. Next, we have Sharose taking us through Cover Letters 101, where he'll discuss how to craft a cover letter that aligns with both your resume and the job you're applying for. Next, we'll have Nida will help cover LinkedIn optimization, showing us how to create a powerful LinkedIn profile because LinkedIn is very popular nowadays, especially when searching for new jobs. So, we added this topic to help you guys get started in this digital world of age. Also, finally, Shurav will dive deep into resume tailoring techniques, guiding us through how to customize your resume for specific job descriptions. This part is essential for standing out in a competitive job market, as small strategic changes can make a huge difference. But before we start, a few quick announcements. If you haven't joined our dedicated Discord community yet, now's the perfect time. It's where you can access resources, ask questions, and engage with our recruiters and other participants throughout the workshop. Our Discord is definitely a great place to keep the conversation going and beyond the sessions as well. So even after the workshop ends, you can connect with like-minded people, share your progress, and keep on learning. If you need help joining, just let me know and we'll get you set up. Also, our workshop is powered by Pasive, a platform dedicated to connecting companies with top-notch freelance recruiters or or not even freelance and giving candidates like you a leg up in today's job market. If you haven't already, I encourage you to sign up for Pasive. It's free and you'll get access to a host of tools, resources, and support to assist you in your job search journey. As a Pasive member, you'll have a chance to connect with industry experts, stay updated on new job opportunities, and get tailored guidance to streamline your application process. Once again, thank you all for being here and bringing such enthusiasm and dedication to this workshop. We're here to help you succeed, and your willingness to invest on yourself as well as your time in your professional growth is truly inspiring. So, let's get started and make today as impactful and interactive as possible. Mark, I'm thrilled to introduce you as our first speaker today. Take it away.
Thanks, Kim. Hi, everyone. This is Mark again, your talent hero. So, welcome to our second day of workshop. So, for today's topic, I will be discussing a comprehensive guide to resume writing. And in today's competitive job market, a well crafted CV is your first impression to potential employers. So, this workshop will equip you with essential skills and knowledge to create a compelling resume that highlights your unique qualifications and secure the job that you deserve. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, for today, let's begin with an overview of our topics that I'll be covering today. So, that's going to be resume core, resume structure, design consideration, and visual example. So let's start with the resume core. So as for the header, it serves as the initial point of contact between you and the potential employers. So as much as possible, you want to make it visible and has a strong input. So let's start with your name. So for the full name, um, give me 1 second. Okay, sorry about the technical issue, guys. All right. So for the name, it starts with your first name and last name. So it must be prominently displayed, and it must be on a capital or a bold letters, followed by professional title. So professional title, why is it important? Recruiters handling tons of application from various positions and putting a title help recruiters to put your CV in the right place, followed by contact information. So as for the contact information, should start with your phone, and um, the phone setup must or the phone start with a country code. Like for example, here in the Philippines, it's +63, followed by your email address. So for your email address, why should we need to use a personal and a professional email? Basically, you don't want to make it difficult for the recruiters to read and remember your email. This is very important as most recruiters use email to send updates regarding to your application. Lastly, many employers now promotes paperless environment and using digital signature for job offers. So your email often serves as the reference when signing. Next would be links. So it can be a link for a project or a link for your social accounts. So you can include your social media links to support your application and showcase your professionalism. So for projects, this is a great place to highlight the task that you've completed or successfully completed from the previous employers that you have. It's like a bit of a professional bragging right. Lastly, the location. So why is it necessary and why you only need to put city and the country? Basically, it's for a privacy reason. So making your location visible in your CV is important for several reasons. Recruiters need to know if you're within the proximity of the office to assess any potential challenges for on-site work. And this information also helps them to suggest alternative commuting options if needed. For remote opportunities, your location can affect how quickly equipment can be delivered to you before your start date. And that's going to be the part one. So be um, next would be summary objectives. Okay, for summary objectives, it's important because it quickly grabs recruiters' attention. It highlights your strengths, shows your career direction, and really makes a strong first impression. It also helps recruiters to see why you're a great fit, especially for competitive roles. Next would be the skills or your skills. Showcasing your skills in your CV is crucial as it highlights your qualifications, improves visibility in the applicant tracking system, quantifies your abilities with metrics, and sets you apart from other candidates, basically boosting your chances of landing your ideal job. And now let's move into work experience. Here are the things that you need to remember. First would be it should be on a reverse chronological order. Means listing your work experience starting with your most recent job and working your way backward in time. So this format is the most common and preferred by employers as it clearly demonstrates your career progression and highlights your most recent skills and experience. Followed by job title, company, and dates. This information provides a clear overview of your professional experience and help recruiters to understand the scope of your work and your career progression. Third would be key responsibilities. So it refers to the main duties and tasks you perform in a particular job role. Remember, when listing your key responsibilities on your CV, you should focus on the most important and relevant ones. And finally, bullet points. So why we need to use bullet points? Basically, by using bullet points, you can create a visually appealing and informative work experience section that highlights your skills and accomplishment. Also, it improves readability, clear and concise organization, and quantifying your achievement. Next is education. So, education is a basic qualification of all organization. Many jobs, especially the professional ones, require a minimum level of education, such as a high school diploma or a college degree. It also demonstrates the development of essential skills like critical thinking, problem solving, and communication. Take note, a strong educational background can open doors to higher level of positions and career advancement. It also adds credibility to your CV and can help you stand out from other candidates. So those are the first part of what should you why should you put importance on your CV. Now let's proceed in the second one, which is the resume structure. So it's really, really important for you to um, really take notes on this um, uh, tips that I'll provide. So first would be the font. So the font that you choose for your CV can significantly impact its overall appearance and readability. Number one, always choose professional fonts. So I presented here an example of the fonts that you can use to your CV to make it readable and professional. And take note that you have to stay away from overly decorative or playful fonts that can make your CV look unprofessional, which is like Broadway, Bradley, Corsiva, and Curls Empty or Magneto, something like that. But there's a lot of options actually in Word that you can avoid that will fall under fancy fonts. Next would be font size. So for the font size, in the market there are no, or in the industry there are no specific indication that you need to use this kind of size, you need to use this kind of um, letters or whatnot. But having said that you want to look it very professional, the standard font size, such as 11 or 12 points for the body text, are the font size that is very readable even though it's online or in a paper. And for the headings, kindly use a slightly larger font to basically separate the body and also the headings. Next would be the font color. So you have to stick with the traditional colors like black or blue to avoid confusions and also to make your CV or your resume more on a professional side instead of like, you submitting your CV to something to make it look funny basically. And lastly, bullet points. So I mentioned earlier that the importance of bullet points, but just to add, for bullet points, it's very critical or it's very crucial for you to add bullet points. Basically, it organizes the information. They break down the details into concise, digestible sections and highlighting important achievements and responsibilities. Second, it focuses on key points. Bullets help you emphasize accomplishment and skills without overwhelming recruiters or employers with large block of text, basically. And finally, it saves space. They allow you to um, present details in a clean, safe, efficient way, which is ideal for a CV that is limited to 1 or 2 pages. So take note of that. Now let's proceed on design consideration. So why is it important? Design matters in CV formatting because it significantly impacts the overall impression it makes on a potential employer. First is readability. Again, I mentioned earlier, it's very important that your CV must be readable. So readability, it's a clean and organized layout with a clear heading and bullet points. Improves readability, allowing recruiters to quickly scan your CV and identify key information. Next would be color scheme. So stick to simple color schemes such as black or white or subtle colors palette. It avoids using excessive colors, followed by brand identity. So, a consistent design style can help establish your personal brand and make you stand out from other candidates. So, brand identity, these are really common to freelancers like graphic designer, web designer, marketing, or advertising, wherein they are using or they are using their basically their skills and uh, their skills to highlight the things that they can do based on their CV, followed by professionalism. So a professionally designed CV demonstrates your attention to detail and commitment to presenting yourself in the best light. And lastly, CV length. So a shorter CV allows recruiters to focus on your most relevant skills and experience, making a stronger impact. Remember, the goal is to create a CV that is easy to read, visually appealing, and highlights your most relevant qualifications. So you have to avoid unnecessary details, and so that the recruiter can focus on the information that will impress the hiring manager. So having said that, I prepared a sample CV here that ideally how your CV would look like before you submit it into a recruiter or to a hiring manager. So as you can see, the name is on capital letters followed by your title, your contact details, which as I've mentioned earlier, only put the city where you're currently living in and also the country. And you can also include the zip code, followed by the phone number, starting with the area code um, of your country, and followed by your email address, personal and professional email address. So, as for the skills, if you notice, all the skills that I've placed here are very relative to the experience of the candidate. And this is very important because it gives the over. It's as part of the summary. It also gives the recruiters the overview of the things that you can do, and that you're currently doing, and then followed by professional summary, work history, and your education. So a clear and concise CV allow recruiters to identify the key information, as I mentioned earlier, and understanding your qualification. And it's basically making a recruiter to understand the informations that you put into your CV quickly. And lastly, it also helps the recruiters to streamline the hiring process, and it increases the chances of a successful match, basically. All right, so that's for our sample CV. So I add additional details or optional that you can also place in your CV. So these are the additional details that may or may not be necessary to include on your CV depending on the job that you're applying for. So first on the list would be project. So you have to select the project that aligns with the specific job you're applying for. Best example would be for graphic designer like portfolios showcasing the sample branding, website design, showcasing the logos that you've created. For web developer like websites, code repositories, or design mockups. For engineering, GitHub is the common site where they can store the code, project documentation, and demos. And for marketing, for example, design sketches and user testing results. Next would be certifications. Remember, when adding certifications, include the certifying organization, the date of the certification, and if there's any expiration date. Take note, only include the certification that is relevant to the current or your desired job. For example, language certification, professional certification like CPA, CMA, and then for tech side, sometimes they are looking if or if an employer was looking if you're a Microsoft certified or a Google certified professional. Third would be volunteer experience. So some says that this is not really necessary. It just take up space on your CV and whatnot. But this is really common for those candidate who is fresher and doesn't have any experience. I would say this is one of the important thing that you need to add if you don't have any extensive working experience or if you don't have any experience at all. So you can still list your volunteer experience on your CV and highlight the specific skills and experience you gain from volunteering. So, um, like volunteered as a tech support for a non-government organization, internship as well. You can put your internship experience under the volunteer experience. Next would be awards and honors. So this is not really necessary, but sometimes it's a compelling way of, telling the recruiter that you've gone this far. So if you're planning to add awards and honors, ensure that it is relevant to the job that you're applying for. And finally, character references. So some says it's not really necessary, some says it is necessary. But as for me, character reference are often requested later in the hiring process. And the reason why I put it as an optional is because for sharing personal contact information of references without their consent is a considered privacy concern. So as much as possible, um, uh, in, provide them or make sure to have it ready and then provide it right before the contract signing. Usually, the character references were being asked before you sign up a contract for background checking purposes. And yeah, I think that's all. But just to provide the conclusion, so in conclusion, a well crafted CV is a powerful tool that can significantly impact your job search. So, by understanding the key elements of a strong CV, such as formatting, content, and design, you can create a document that effectively showcases your skills and experiences. So, remember to tailor your CV to each specific job application and to proofread carefully to ensure accuracy. With a well prepared CV, you can increase your chances of landing your dream job and achieving your career goals. So, remember that your CV is more than just a document. It's a powerful tool to showcase your unique skills and experience. With a dedication and practice, you can master the art of CV writing. So that's all for me today, guys. And again, my name is Mark, and looking forward to your questions later.
Thank you so much, Mark. That was a fantastic breakdown of each section. Having a solid structure is essential to make sure all the right information stands out at a glance. So, if I may, this is actually quite common in my peers. Graduate school. Do you think taking an MBA is actually beneficial, like in every industry, or how does it help us as candidates?
Usually MBA is being taken up by people who want to accelerate their position basically. So from junior up to senior higher level right away. So having an MBA is one of the proof that you master already the skills or the position that you're currently into. So if for example you're going to apply for a job and you don't have any extensive background or working experience at all, it's one great way. However, we also have to discuss the salary grade. So that's the thing. It battles between the salary grade and also with the experience. So that's the thing with the recruitment. So as much as possible, land on the job first, start on the basic, and then while doing the job, then you may go up on taking an MBA, and then when the opportunity comes, then apply into it.
Oh, so interesting. So actually, so if I, for example, like a fresh graduate from undergrad school, and then
Mhm.
immediately I went to grad school for an MBA, so that doesn't really help me as much, uh, right?
Well, not really as much, but most of the employers, we have to face the reality. Most of the employers are looking for an experience, because um, it's a skill. Sometimes skill is one of the hardest thing to teach, basically. So you have to gain the skills first, and then you enrich it with by taking up MBA, basically. So that's how it works in this industry or to any industries actually.
So definitely like experience first, then the MBA can actually help better. For example, for a promotion or something like that.
Yes, because if you took up MBA, yes, you have the figures, but you don't have the actual. And most employers
Mm.
prefer to look on the actual side instead of the figures. So that's why some people says, oh, it's not important to put my education or education history in my CV. That's a big no-no because most employer that's a basic qualification. As I mentioned earlier, it's a basic qualification, but that doesn't mean you have to be an MBA for us to get you or for us to let you in or for us to hire you basically. So it's just a foundation. Same goes with MBA. If you already have a skill, then that proves you a foundation. Then when you took up MBA, then that's another foundation that will help you benchmark to another set of career basically, or another path of career basically.
So, for example, in certifications as well, like for
Mhm,
a fresh graduate with certifications in AWS or
mhm.
the like, so does that help stand out, or like does that help the candidate stand out, even though they have no experience as of yet?
I would say yes, because for certifications like that, all you just need to master is just the skill within a certain tool or a certain platform, basically. And sometimes, even though you're not able to use a certain tool, as long as you got a certification, that means that proves you that you were able to master it, and that so that you can apply that to the job that you're applying for. And one best example is AWS. Some employers, some organization requiring those type of certification for you to be able to get in, even though you don't have any work experience, because that's one of the crucial requirement that they're looking. Because they possible that they don't want to extensively train the people or the new the candidates or the new employees, or they want someone that's already mastered this certain tools and want to take the job right away. So those are the possible reasons. But yeah, it would definitely help you even though you don't have any extensive background. Usually employers that requires those kind of certifications only asking basic qualifications like internship, 1 year, 2 years work experience, something like that.
Awesome. That's actually like interesting because I develop projects on the side as a hobby, and I'm just quite interested like on those certifications. It does really help. So yeah, definitely thank you for answering all my personal questions. Thank you, Mark. Very insightful. And guys, if you have any other questions, I see you on our DMs and Pasive's DMs already. So I'll save those questions for last in our Q&A session. All right. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Kim.
All right. So now, building off this foundation, let's talk about cover letters. So we've talked about the resume. So every detail on your resume we have already talked about. Now let's talk about cover letters. So crafting or creating a strong cover letter can really help you tell a unique story and make a personal connection with the recruiters. So let's welcome Sharose, who will guide us through writing a compelling cover letter that adds depth to your application. Sharose, all yours.
Hi Kim, how are you?
Awesome. I'm personally excited on this part because uh, there are like some companies that require cover letters and some that are only optional or doesn't even let you submit one. So personally, I've only created like only a few cover letters and I don't even know if they're good.
If you ask me, Kim, I've never used a cover letter, to be very honest, myself. So that's being honest about it. But yeah, whenever you pursue a big company, a company that stands out in an, on an international level, you have to see there are a lot of applicants, there are a lot of resumes, there are a lot of people applying for the jobs, right? So you have to make sure you're personalizing your brand, you're showing the organization what kind of a brand you are, what have you attained, those things that they are covered by. the cover letter, because usually people do not change their resumes that often, if you know. I mean, resumes, they are updated with new experiences, but normally when people are applying in different companies, they are using the same resume. But when it comes to your cover letter is personalized for each and every job. So that's basically showing the company that you've actually researched about the company, you've researched about the role, you have what it takes to, deliver the goals that the company is looking for, the kind of person you are. So those things are basically covered by your cover letter. And yeah, it's very important that there are certain things that are in line with the resume in the cover letter as well. So we'll be talking about all of that.
Awesome. I'm very excited for your presentation and your discussion.
Yeah. So should I start?
Alrighty. Very excited because this is one of like many actually all the candidates are really interested in cover letters because it's not as common as they think. And actually I think cover letter actually have an impact? Like for example, I as a candidate submitted a cover letter and the other candidates did it. Does it have a positive sentiment regarding that specific candidates?
Yeah, you're right. So cover letter is a very technical. There are minute details that you need to focus on. And I mean, if you do that, if you do write a good cover letter, it will surely, land you your the job you kind of want. Because obviously, if you're writing a cover letter for a company, you are very interested in that company. It takes a lot of energy and a lot of going out of the way to write a cover letter for an organization, because you need to do your proper research about the company, what kind of products the company is dealing with. Have you been doing such kind of things in your prior experiences? So you have to work it out. You have to know the hiring manager's name. You have to know those things. I would say that cover letter is something that you might not be doing for every company, but if you want to land your dream job, or the company you researched about, you know that you want to do, or you want to work in it. So there, that's where you actually have to write that.
Amazing. So
Yeah.
yeah, take it away, Sharoz. We're all excited.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I can just see Kim. I don't know if other people are here as well, but yeah, we'll get started. So yeah, basically we're gonna starting with cover letters 101. The importance of your brand to relate with the organization's brand. One thing I would like I told Kim, it's important that you develop your brand, because the time that has come, it doesn't matter what kind of education you've done, whether you've how much experience do you have in one domain. The nowadays companies, they are looking for hybrids. And if I work in HR, so it's, if I want to contribute in a company, I'm not just going to be doing HR. I have, on a strategic level, I am going to be taking part in some of the admin tasks as well, to take the operations forward and all those kind of things. So it's very important that you show your brand that these are the things that you have developed. For instance, if it's your fresh first company, there are going to be certain things that are going to be shown in the resume and cover letter of yours, like leadership qualities. Let's say there is an organization, there's a society in your university, like music society, and you have been a president or vice president of that music society. You're going to showcase that to your first employer, because obviously that will show your employer that you have the leadership qualities and you have been leading this in your prior experience being your university. So that was one example. So you have to be very careful about your brand. You have to know what you are, what you want, and only then you will be pursuing companies or career or domains that actually align with your long term goals. So your brand is very important. So cover letter is one of those things that basically portrays your brand, to the employer. And we're going to be talking about introduction, the key components of the your cover letter. Then we'll be sharing two examples. Then you'll have your conclusion. We're going to be having a discussion. So, what's a cover letter? A cover letter is basically a crucial document that accompanies your resume when applying for jobs. So, you have to know that a cover letter in itself is nothing. A cover letter exists with a resume. And about resume, since cover letter is a part of resume, back in 2018 or 2019, I attended my first training session with an international trainer. And I still remember one of the things he said to me. He said, send me your resume and make sure it's one page, or else I'll throw it in the trash. So having said that, you have to understand that your cover letter and your resume, they have to be one page. Yeah, if you're very much experienced, it would make sense that your resume goes to two pages as well. But the wisest thing to do would be that your resume and your cover letter is one page. So that is basically two pages. So it accompanies your resume when applying for jobs, internships, or other professional opportunities. Its primary purpose is to elaborate on your qualifications. So, okay, like I said, that you have to show that you're a brand. Now, these qualifications are not just that you're telling the people that you have done bachelor's in this, you have done master's in this, that your qualifications are this. These qualifications are the goals that you have met in your prior career, that the things that you have attained in your professional experiences. So that's basically personalizing that kind of goals to where you're applying. Like for instance, if you have attained something in the marketing, if you're a marketing professional, you have attained a successful campaign in a prior company, and the company you're applying to is planning to do something of that sort, then you will be obviously telling that this is the budget I got and this is what I did, these were the results, these were the metrics, these were the statistics. So that's basically your qualifications, and demonstrate how your skills align with the specific requirements of the position you are applying for. So basically, your skills need to be demonstrated. Like I told you, the leadership qualities, they can be shown if you were the president of some society in the university, even if it's your first experience. Then if you're experienced, obviously there are a lot of other things, that there are so many things in the organization, that you're basically leading some of the things, even the trips. So you have to make sure you're writing you're showing your brand. Keep that phrase in mind. It's all about the brand. Keep your brand in mind. Okay, specific requirements of the position you're applying for. Okay, now we're talking about the purpose and importance of the cover letter. So, a cover letter is your first opportunity to make a strong impression on potential employer and to showcase how your skills align with the job you're applying for. So, basically, that's making a strong impression. Cover letter is basically you getting personalized with the hiring manager. So you're basically writing the name of the hiring manager, you're writing about the position, you're telling your qualifications. Now when one sees, like I told you, I personally did not use the cover letter, I haven't done that. But I have read many cover letters, and they give an impression that this person actually has done his or her research about the company, and they are interested in working here because they've actually researched. They're addressing me by my name, and it gives you that kind of feel that we can have a conversation with this person, and this is something that lands you your first interview. So that's basically your first opportunity. And like we had someone in the prior session say yesterday, that first impressions are very important in in the all the interview process, and making your impression to the employer, potential employer. The cover letter serves to persuade the employer that you are suitable candidate for the position by showcasing your relevant skills and experiences. Unlike a resume which summarizes your qualifications, a cover letter allows you to present a narrative that highlights your strength in relation to the job description. So this point is very important, since you have to use the keywords, like we talked about resume and so many other things. ATS, using the ATS, and even LinkedIn, you have to make sure that you're using correct keywords that are going to lead to your resume and cover letter getting shortlisted for the role. So you have to make sure that the JD, always ask your employer for the JD. You know, it's very important. If you have applied for a position, they've given you a call, and then you have to, showing yourself needy, that's a worst thing you can do to yourself. And why is it the worst thing? Because you're actually damaging your brand. Like I said, it's all about the brand. So what people do is when they get a call for the interview, let's say initial screening, they get a call, they're like, okay, Dran, I'll do this, I'll do this. No, you're standing at a position where the employer is contacting you. Have your brand have some self-respect as well. So you have to have self-respect, and you have to show that I need certain things as well. And I mean, I appreciate those applicants and those candidates really, very much, who ask for JD, job description. I send them job description, and then then you can align your cover letter, all those things with the JD as well. So these are the things that you can do. Some companies, they have published their job descriptions on the website as well. So go to those websites, search their job descriptions, get in touch with an HR professional of that company, ask them for the job description, and have that, your cover letter have those keywords that are important in the job description as well. First thing was that. And the second point in the same pointer is the narrative that highlights your strengths. So there's a very fine line between, bragging and being confident. So you have to make sure that you're confident in your abilities. If you doubt yourself, how come you can expect the other person to have confidence in you? So you don't doubt yourself. When you're writing the cover letter, make sure you have your resume with you have your skills with you have to show, you have to sell your experiences, sell your skills. So that's something you have to do. So you always highlight those things that you have actually done, and you're proud of those things. Don't put yourself at a place where you're not confident about the role and you're of two minds. Just be confident about yourself, and that will be shown in the words that you write in your cover letter and your resume as well. I'll give you an example about the resume. Like I'm telling you, red color being used in the resume, it highlights people being bold. So when I hire a marketing professional, if he or she has used red color in their resume, it will show me that this person is bold. He is not scared to take initiatives. So those are the things. Even the colors used on resume, we people see that. So you have to make sure that you're showing your brand. Like I say, it's all about the brand. Very important thing, pre-writing to-dos. Now, what's pre-writing to-dos? Basically, when you're writing a cover letter, like I said, it's about the mindset. It's about the brand that you want to make yourself. So these are some of the things that you have to do before writing a cover letter. Job requirements. Make sure you understand what they are, because your letter will refer to them. You cannot write something that is not in the JD, that is not in the job requirements. Make sure whatever you're writing in the cover letter, that makes sense to the hiring manager. Even if one thing you've written and you've assumed that this is something that's going to be there, don't do that. Keep it concise. Don't write anything that is not in the job requirements. Company website. If you'll face a good recruitment professional, he or she will always share company details with you. That's what I do with my candidates as well. I send them email invites, and I send them the company website, the location, all those details on the WhatsApp. So sending them on the WhatsApp, it's getting personalized with the candidate. So that goes two ways, right? So you have to make sure that even if the hiring manager has not shared the company website, then you go research about the company, go to the company website, read their vision, their mission, their values. Everything flows down from vision, then comes the mission, then your values, and then your goals. Everything flows from there. So make sure you know that your values, that the company you're applying to, you know their values, you know their mission, you know their goals, their values, their short-term, long-term goals, what they're planning to do. Even if you want to contact a point of contact, their hiring manager, and ask questions, do that. But do your research before you're writing your cover letter, because you would want to make sense of your application going to that specific company. So hiring manager, you want to address them by name, so do your best to find it. So obviously there are certain cases where you wouldn't be knowing the name of the hiring manager. In most cases you do, but it's good to, like I said, it's about personalization. Since there are too many jobs, there are too many companies, too many applicants, you have to make sure you're personalizing with people. So when you personalize with people, you know what they get in mind. They get in mind that he is not just doing his usual behavior like he does with everyone. He's actually getting out of the way and, personalizing approach for me. So you feel important, obviously you will do something good for that person. So address them by name, address your hiring manager by name. Your resume, make sure it clearly shows you're a good fit for the role, and keep it nearby so you can take a look at it whenever necessary. uh, your resume should be with you when you're writing your cover letter, because the cover letter always flows with your resume, as I've already stated before. Now we're going to talk about key components of the cover letter. Research and personalize. Tailor each letter for specific role and company. Avoid generic phrases and customize your approach. Unique experiences. Like I told you about the marketing campaign, I gave you an example of that. If you're applying for a marketing role, you would tell that you got this much budget, this is what you attained, these were the results. So for that, you have to research about the company, what they're doing, right? Like we talked. So tailor each, resume could be same for any job, but the cover letter, it has to be different for every job. The problem why hiring managers, I would tell you my personal experience, why we, most of the cover letters, I skim through them. There's some of the cover letters that basically catch my eye, and the reason for them is that, they have actually spent time, worked on it, not just changed names and some of the lines and sent it. So you get the feel, the purpose that you're writing with is always gotten by the reader. So make sure you're tailoring each letter for specific role and company. To show genuine interest, ideal candidate for the role. Like I told you, brand. When you know your brand, you know what you want. And when you know what you want, I mean, you would. There are some people who dreamt at a certain age that we are gonna be working in Google, and they did, right. So there there was that, their goal. So if you have, don't fake yourself. You'll obviously be looking for a company that actually, you will feel that it aligns with my goals, my values, my how I operate, the policies align with my lifestyle. So you have to make sure that you actually like the company, you actually want to join that company, not just for the sake of it. So you show genuine interest only then. And then when you show genuine interest, you will be an ideal candidate for the role. Research the company to understand its values, mission, and any recent projects or achievements. Mention something specific about the company in your letter, and we'll be talking about that in the examples as well. I've already discussed this. Structure and content. So the cover letter itself, what is the structure and what are the contents of the cover letter? Firstly, you have your header, your contact information, include your name, phone number, email, optionally your LinkedIn profile link. Date, employee contact information, their name if available, title, company name, and address. Then you have your opening. Okay, salutation. Salutation is very important. If you search online, you will find dear a lot, but I personally do not go with dear, and I would not prefer anyone to go with dear, because dear is something that is not appreciated by everyone. You have to use a salutation that is okay with all the cultures, all the kinds of people. You know, there are some people who do not like dear. When they read dear, they're like, he's getting too personal. I mean, you have those kind of people as well in the world. So use a salutation. What I prefer is greetings. Like my hiring manager, let's say he was Sabi. So I write greetings, Sabi. Kim, if it's Kim, I'll write greetings, Kim. So greetings is a very inclusive, all inclusive kind of salutation that nobody would mind about, right? So you can write greetings. Greetings is a very good salutation. I would not prefer you to go with dear. Introduction. Start with a sentence that clearly states the position you're applying for and briefly introduce why you're excited about the role. Hold the reader. Now, holding the reader. What's holding the reader? Now, let me tell you about the times we're living in. Uh, you would notice that there was some point when the songs were very long, 7 to 8 minutes long songs, and then the time went forward, then 4 minutes, three. Nowadays the songs are just 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes. Why is that? And there are short movies, there are reels. Why is that? Because the attention span of people has changed. you know People do not have time to listen to long songs, to watch long movies, to watch long reels. They have a very less time, and they're looking for things that can give them gratification in a lesser time. So having said that, just like that, you're basically, firstly, what it tells you is that you have to make your cover letter concise. Don't waste the hiring manager's time. Secondly, hold the reader means that every line that you're writing, you have to make sure you're not losing the hiring manager who's reading it. Now your first line, your second line should be catchy to bring him to the second paragraph. Your second paragraph should be catchy enough to bring him to the third paragraph. So those things. Your third paragraph should be catchy enough to bring him in the postscript if you're adding that in your cover letter. So we'll be talking about postscript as well, what postscript is in a cover letter. So holding the reader, that's very important. And obviously, like I told you guys, if you're faking it, at some point the hiring manager will know. But make sure you know what you want, then you're applying for what you want, and the company you're going for is actually something that is aligned with you for in a longer run. Because the companies, they, like I told you, like the attention span, people, they want to switch companies. Like if you talk about the software part, the software engineers part, there used to be a time when in different domains the average good time in a company was 3 to 4 years, but software engineers, they spend 1.5 year in a company and then they switch. So the biggest challenge for companies nowadays is to look for people who can actually stick with them in the longer run. And that could be like maybe 3 years, 4 years. 3 years, 4 years is a good enough time to spend in a company. But people switching from 1 to 2 years, that's like really fast. So when you know these things about the company, when you know what you want, when you know you're gonna introduce yourself and you're excited about the role, the hiring manager will know that this guy will stick. He has a chance of sticking with us. So let's give him a chance and let's interview this guy. So hold the reader. Middle paragraphs showcase key qualifications. Highlight 2 to 3 experiences or skills that make you an excellent fit for the role. Use concrete examples focusing on achievements and results. Demonstrate fit. Connect your experiences with what the company is looking for. For example, if they value teamwork, highlight as collaborative a project where you made a difference. Like I told you, do not, if you're a fresh graduate and you're looking for your first job, do not think that you cannot write anything. Write about your internship, write about what you've done in your university, write about what you've done in your college, write about everything that you've done. On my LinkedIn profile, I even wrote that I was the second fastest kid in my school in primary. Well, it's back when I was in 2 or 3. So I have written everything. I was proctor when I was at college. I was president of the music society. I've written all those things in my profile because that's my brand. I'm showing that. So you have to show your brand. So connect your experiences with what the company is looking for. Teamwork, leadership, these qualities are what people look for. I always say, and most of the people in leadership, they say that, soft, it's all about soft skills. It's all about these things. Hard skills that they can be taught. anything can be taught. Excel can be taught, all the ATS, the softwares, everything can be taught. But soft skills, there's something that give you an edge. So make sure you're highlighting these things. Ponder about your career, the time you've spent, and think about it. What's your strong suit? Maybe you're a good leader, maybe you're great in teamwork. Think about those things and write your cover letter for where you want to work. Closing, express enthusiasm. You have to be excited about it. Convey excitement about the role and the company, motivation to join the company. CTA, like in the email, you have your call to action before your closing. Politely mention your interest in discussing about the role further in an interview. So that's basically, we're going to talk further how it comes before the closing of the cover letter. Then you have your sign off. Use a professional closing like sincerely or best regards. I would personally go with sincerely or best regards. Both are good, but sincerity is better because it is a single term. It's one word rather than two. And you would get my point where I'm coming from. So these things are very important. Show promise. Do not be needy. So what's the difference between do not be needy and show promise? So showing promise is basically, like I've told you, there was a marketing campaign I got this budget and I can do it there as well. I know I have led this much people. I have interacted with the clients of 7 countries. That includes KSA, that includes US, that includes Canada, that includes UK, and that's showing promise. But saying things like, thank you so much for your time. I mean, that's showing needy, to be honest. And those are the things you need to avoid. Do not do that. Make your stand. Companies want people who know their worth, right? So show your worth. Postscript. So what's basically postscript? Postscript is like you close the word covering, your cover letter, and then you have PS dot. You write, uh, if we can meet. Okay, you're not telling them to meet you for the interview. You're actually telling them to meet. If we can meet and discuss, I can show you the results I attained for this marketing campaign that I did in my this company. So that's basically your postscripts, and it actually catches the eye of the hiring manager because that's something unusual. You're not writing, and this is something out of the format. So postscript, I would recommend you guys to use postscript in your uh, cover letters. That'll be a great way to catch the eye of the hiring manager. Formatting tips: keep the cover letter to one page with professional font size, 10 to 12 points, Arial or Garamond. Use the same header as your resume for consistency. Like we've been talking about it, your cover letter always goes with your resume. So use the same header for consistency. Maintain standard business letter formatting with clear margins. 1 inch is a good standard. And spacing, avoid excessive bolding or colors. It has to look professional. It shouldn't be looking like you've used a lot of variety. Don't do that. It should look professional and gentle and kind of consistent. In 200 to 400 words, you can actually write 200. So I would recommend keep it 200. Don't go for 400 because of the reason I told you. People have less attention span. So go for 200 words. Make it as concise as possible. Highlight your achievements, professional skills, and relevant experiences that make you the best fit for the job. Left align all your contents. It should be aligned to the left. Double cover letter spacing, 1 to 1.15. That should be the spacing between the lines of the cover letter. Title your cover letter by job title, cover letter, and your name. This is your basically the format for giving the name to your cover letter. Last point is very important. PDF layout shouldn't change. That. So many people, what they do is they change the format, and what happens is they don't proofread or review the document they've just converted to PDF. And what happens is that the layout has changed. So make sure you've actually reviewed the PDF that you are making because it is always wise. One thing I would like to add here is don't send your resumes in Word format. Always send them in PDF, and they should be neat and clean, aligned. It looks really good. Make it easy for people to read. So your cover letter should be PDF and as well. So make sure the layout, after you have converted it to PDF, review it, proofread it once so that it looks neat and clean. Key tips for success. Okay, be concise. I've spoken enough about it. Aim for one page and focus on key points that directly relate to the job. Use a professional tone, keep the language professional but also engaging. There's a difference between unprofessional language and engaging language. You can be professional and you can be engaging. Show enthusiasm without being overly casual. Proofread, spelling and grammar errors can be a red flag. Use tools or ask someone else to review your letter. Uh, I gave trainings for writing email communication as well in my own organization, and it's a very basic thing to write an email. But many people they don't follow the basic tips. Uh, so one thing I would relate from that training to here is that when you're writing something for the first time, you're writing as a writer. But when you proofread it, when you give it a second go, you're reading is reading it as a reader. So most of the times now, even when I proofread my email, there are some changes that I make, and these are not mistakes. Sometimes there are mistakes as well, but most of the times you get an idea when you're reading it as a reader, you get an idea that the thing I have said in two sentences could be said in one, and then I convert the two or three sentences into one sentence. So when you always proofread. I cannot emphasize it enough. Proofread whatever you're writing, an email, cover letter, resume, whatever it is, email. I mean, just proofread it. It's very important. Avoid repetition. Do not repeat from your resume. Instead, provide additional context about your experiences. Your resume is something very standard, and it tells about your time being spent in different organizations, what were your core your deliverables. So but your cover letter is more personalized, so make sure whatever you've written down in your resume, it shouldn't go in your cover letter, because that will be repetition, and whenever there is repetition, the reader gets bored. So don't do that to the hiring manager. Now we'll be talking about the examples. So that's basically, I've given examples of my own organization. uh, what's the right way? As a lifelong enthusiast of Oak Street Technologies marketing initiatives, I was thrilled to see you posting for the position of digital marketing manager. I'm positive I can help with XYZ's upcoming challenges. I have experience with leading successful national online campaigns with budgets over $300,000. Moreover, I have expanded ABC's client base by 19% since 2018. So, what do you notice? There are figures, there are percentages, there are years. So, there are XYZ upcoming challenges. The hiring manager gets the feel that this guy has actually worked what we are looking for, and he is enthusiastic about the position, and he actually wants to get in. Now, what's the wrong approach? In response to your posting for the digital marketing manager position, now you have already wasted a lot of words to just tell the hiring manager what he has done, right? I would like to express my interest in participating in the recruitment process. Duh. I mean, that this is something that is why we're having a recruitment process. As a digital marketing manager with 8+ years of experience, I'm positive that I would succeed in the role. Now, I will not be expecting this kind of message from a person who has more than 8 years of experience in a digital marketing domain. So you get the idea that the right approach is what it is, and what the wrong approach is lacking. So make sure you're not following the second approach. So this is an example of me writing to my manager. So there's, you can see, it's my name, it's my address, it's my city, it's my email, it's my cell number. So there are very small details that matter. Like if you look at the cell number here, uh, make sure your cell number is written in a way that's not specific to your country. Always write cell number like this. Then you have your dashes to make sure that if the person is looking in the number, he's not getting confused. So never make the mistake of writing the number together. Always introduce dashes in between so that the person who's dialing your number is actually, it's convenient for him. Then you have today's date. Then you have Sabine Offel, who's my director, Oak Street Technologies, second floor Sky Park address. City. Greetings, Sabine. Like I told you, greetings. It's a good way. I'm writing to express my interest in the human resources manager position at Oak Street Technologies, as advertised on LinkedIn. With a background in human resources and proven success in recruitment, I'm excited about the opportunity to contribute to your team and support Oak Street Technologies' mission to become a software leader in Pakistan. Now I know the vision of Oak Street Technologies to become a software leader in Pakistan. So that's where I come in the recruitment, and the recruitment comes in the HR. So that's basically leading my hiring manager the towards the long term goal. So that's your first paragraph. In my previous role at Netcom, I successfully hired for technical roles for RSC and GSC projects of Huawei. Through in this experience, I developed international recruitment expertise, which I believe will help me make a significant contribution to your team. I'm particularly drawn to modern day work culture and policies in your organization. Now I have researched, I know that it's a modern day work culture, and yeah, we have good policies, flexible timing, work from home, all those things that are, common nowadays. So I'm basically applauding the company for those things, and this is something that internally I like in this company. That is the reason I've been stuck here for 2.5 years. So you would understand these are the things that make you stay in the company, and these should be the benchmark for you to apply in your next organization. What goes with you for your brand? Thank you for considering my application. I look forward to the possibility of discussing how my background, skills, and enthusiasm for IT could be a great match for OC Technologies. Please feel free to contact me at your convenience to schedule a discussion. Now, you would also notice that I have mentioned the regional service center and global service center projects of Huawei. Now, the guy who's gonna read this, he will know that these were big projects. So it will automatically, tell them that this guy has an exposure of recruitment that involved Chinese, Middle Eastern people, Pakistani people, all those. So that's guys basically it uh, from my side. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Sharos. Cover letters can be powerful tools for communicating your unique value to employers, definitely. And you've given some pretty great insights, very detailed and also personalized. You have a personalized presentation in terms of your experience as well. So I really like that. And actually, we have a lot of comments regarding questions. So I see you, Mark. I see you, Kay. So we'll answer those questions later. All right. So thanks, Rose.
Thank you so much, Kim. Thank you. Take care.
Take care. All right. Now that we have resumes and cover letters covered, let's move on to LinkedIn. A strong LinkedIn profile can back up and expand on what's in your resume, giving a complete picture of your professional self. Nida is here to show us how to make LinkedIn work for us in the job search. Nida, take it away.
Yeah, hi everyone. Hope you all are doing well, and thank you so much, Kim, for introducing. And I'm really sorry, my voice is too much scary today. Actually, I'm having a bad throat. If you people are unable to understand anything, you can ask. So, let's start with the LinkedIn optimization. So, today I'm here to discuss about a very interesting and a crucial topic as well, which is LinkedIn optimization. So, first of all, we will discuss that what basically the LinkedIn optimization is. LinkedIn optimization is basically the process of boosting your profile to increase its visibility, impact, and appeal to target audiences. So, LinkedIn optimization is very necessary. Why is that so? Let me tell you one thing. Do anyone of you know that how many users are on LinkedIn nowadays? according to so let me tell you that according to the recent survey of 2024, there are approximately 1 billion users over the LinkedIn. So why you? Why your profile? So we need to understand that LinkedIn optimization matters a lot because we need to stand out from those 1 billion people. Why is that so? Because 90% of the recruiters are using LinkedIn to find the talent. It boosts your visibility, opens the networking doors for you, and helps you build the professional brand. That is why the LinkedIn optimization matters. And how can we stand out in on the LinkedIn? So today I'm here to guide you that how can you stand out on the LinkedIn. There are some key strategies for the optimized profile. First of all you need to do is that you have to make a profile and you have to complete that profile. First thing is that your name plays a crucial role in like describing yourself. I have seen a lot of people, those who are not using their real names. Like you have to use the name that is on your passport or on your national identity card. Let me tell you one example. Like someone has a name, Kale Paul, and his family used to call him, for suppose, a prince. So my brother, you're prince at your home but not at the LinkedIn. I have seen that he has wrote that Prince Kale Paul. So you're not prince at the LinkedIn, you're prince at your home. So please try to avoid these kind of names like beautiful, amazing, you can say prince, lovely. You are lovely, you are beautiful, but you're not at the LinkedIn. So please try to avoid these kind of things and try to use a professional name that are used on your other documents and your educational professional documents. And the second thing is the profile picture. So I'll discuss more about the profile picture later, but the first thing and the most important thing is that you have a profile picture with a smiley face, not a very aggressive or a rude kind of picture. It must be a smiley face. So first thing is that I'll tell you more about the profile pictures later. And the third thing is that create a dynamic headline. Why headline matters? Because if you are scrolling a LinkedIn and you are on a home page, and if you see someone's profile, there will be three things you will see: their picture, their name, and their headline. So your headline must be very attractive so they get convinced to open your profile. That is why the headline matters a lot. And yes, one thing is that headline must be of 220 characters, 220 characters, not 220 words. So it must be precise, accurate, and attractive as well. After that, you have to write a very engaging summary matters a lot, but you should not write it in a way that like you can say traditional resume summaries. It must not be like that. I'll tell you that how can you write a creative career summary. In the first paragraph, all you need to do is to write about your like write about yourself, introduction about yourself, that what you have done so far and all that. In the second paragraph, all you need to do is to write about your skills and your accomplishments. And in the third paragraph, you need to create a like you need to end it like you can say connect if you are interested to explore, or if you are providing some kind of services, you can write about that. If you are like you can write about your skills, you can write about your your career, all of that. So you can say that, simply say that connect if you are interested in exploring more and something like that. So and the next thing is that highlight skills and get endorsements. You have to highlight the skills. Like if you are having two experiences or three experiences, you have worked in three organizations, so you have to write the skills, that these were the skills that you used in your that job. And you can get the endorsements as well. Endorsement, you can get the endorsements from your peers, from your like colleagues. You can get the endorsements from anyone to get the credibility. So after that, custom URL. Yeah, on LinkedIn, they provide a feature that you can customize your URL as well. You can customize the URL in a way that it must be between the 3 to 100 characters, and it must be like words, like letters, numbers, and hyphens. Only three things are allowed. So try to create your own unique URL. So it would help you to like boost your visibility. It will be like something interesting. After that, you need to engage regularly. Engage regularly in a way that you can post on regular basis, you can comment on the post, you can like other people's post, and you can engage in that way. After that, I'll discuss about the uncommon techniques to stand out. There are, like, you can say, three uncommon techniques to stand out. First thing is that you can turn the creator mode on. You can go to your profile and they will there you will see the creator mode. You can turn it on and it will, like, you have to choose up to 5 topics, and you can discuss these topics. And what you will get in turning on the creator mode, your visibility will be increased and it will make you visible in other people's feed, so it will help you. So the second thing is that you can showcase your work. How you can showcase your work? You can create the videos, you can create the articles, you can create the portfolios. Like if you are doing, for suppose you are a digital marketer, so you can create a video for that, a small 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30-second video to showcase your work, that what you are doing, what you are looking for, and what are your interests. So you can create the videos, you can create the articles as well, and you can obviously share your portfolio on the LinkedIn as well to engage more audience. After that, if you go, like, if you think LinkedIn provides the learning courses as well, you can go for that as well. You can choose the courses that are related to your field, that are related to your interest, and you can go for them, and they will give you a certification for that, and your profile will obviously get a boost. So these are some uncommon techniques to stand out on the LinkedIn. After that, let me discuss these things in detail. Pro tips for each profile section. I told you about the headline. Headline, I told you that it's a very important thing, and it shows, like, on the it's the first thing that the people see, your name, your profile picture, and the headline. So it must be very attractive, and as I told you, it must be between 220 characters. I have wrote some examples as well, that if you are a data scientist, for suppose, you can write that aspiring data scientist, passionate about machine learning and AI, recent graduate with practical project experience. You can write this. If you're a software engineer, you can write. You can go with the software engineer helping companies build scalable applications, 5+ years in backend and cloud architecture. Like, it gives the impression that he has the experience in backend and cloud architecture as well, which is somehow attractive. So you can go for these things. And the third example is for the product manager. Like, if you're a product manager, you can write product manager, building customer centric products that drive growth, and SaaS expert. So these are the things. For example, if I am a HR manager, so my headline must be like HR manager. What are my skills? What basically I'm doing? I'm expert in the payroll. I'm expert in the recruitment. I'm expert in the people management. I'm expert in the offboarding and onboarding process. I can write that. Like, I have a skill that I'm also a content writer, so I can write that content writing is also my skill. I can also do the graphic designings as well, basic graphic designing. So I can write a graphic designing as well. Like, the more you tell people, the more they will be attracted. So you can write it in a very precise and in a very attractive manner. So these are the things about the headlines. And after that, the profile picture. The I think this is the most important thing, I would say. Like, I have seen a lot of people with they have no picture. They are like, they have a black picture, a blank picture, or something. Like, I was like, if I'm going to meet some kind of disappearing character, or someone like Harry Potter who has a clock to disappear. No, you must try to have a picture. You just have to take a clear picture of yourself, and it must be a headshot. Headshot means the upper part of your body, and as I told you, it must be a smiley face, not the aggressive one, not the rude pictures. Like if you're sitting like that with an aggressive face, it will not give a positive impression to anyone who is looking your profile. If you have a smile on your face, then the people will get a positive energy from you. So it will attract them. One more thing, I have seen a lot of people over the LinkedIn who uploads the pictures of their babies or they're like something like that. So as a recruiter, it's to be very honest, it's very, you can say, I feel sad to reject or say no to a very newborn baby or a 1 year or 2 year baby. So I feel sad that I'm rejecting a 2 years baby or a newborn baby. So please try to avoid these kind of things. This is a professional platform. The pictures must be very professional. And as I told you that this picture is the right one, like he has a smile on his face, he has a headshot, like he's just covering the upper part of his body, and it is the appealing picture. About if we can see, the baby is cute, but on the LinkedIn it is not the appealing picture. It is the black picture. I know it's good, like it's plain, it's simple, but it's not appealing on the LinkedIn. LinkedIn wants to know about yourself, not about your family or your interest or anything else. So please try to be professional on the LinkedIn. This was the most important thing. After that, I would like to discuss about the yes, draft a compelling about section. About section matters a lot. Like in about section, you are telling about yourself, that what you are, what your interests are, and what you are looking for. So it must be very attractive and it must be very appealing to someone who is looking at your profile. After that, your experience section. Like if someone has an experience, obviously he has an experience. Like if here I wrote one example, that if you are a project manager, you have managed projects. Everyone knows if you are a project manager, then you have managed a project. But what if you write, led a $500,000 project that reduced operational cost by 20%? Like, wow. It is you can see that it is somehow appealing, it is somehow attractive. So please try to write these kind of things. You know that you have done something that was in a benefit of the company and in the favor of your employees, in the favor of anyone. So try to write it in that way. Like everyone knows, like if you are a project manager, you have managed the project. If you are a sales manager, you have managed the sales and you're responsible for the sales and revenue generation. If you're a HR manager, you're responsible for all these things. But what if I write, like being an HR manager, what if I write if suppose if I have written that I have onboarded people. Obviously, being an HR manager, it's my duty to onboard the people. But what if I write like on successful 2000 successful onboardings? Like it is somehow more attractive. So try to choose these kind of attractive things to have to boost your profile, to have the impact on the people. So after that, the second thing is that the skills and endorsements. I've told you about the skills. Skills matters a lot. Like if you have done, suppose, 4 jobs, so you have to add the skills in all those 4 jobs, that what your skills were, what you learned from them, and what you gave them. So you have to select the skills and ask your colleagues, ask your peers, ask your managers, everyone to give you the endorsements. LinkedIn has the feature of endorsement. Endorsement means they agree that you have that skill, that you have give your input in that specific area. So try to get the endorsements and try to add as much skills as you want, but those skills that you have, don't try to override the things. If you don't have any skills, don't try to add those on your profile. After that, the third thing is that the recommendations. LinkedIn has the feature of the recommendations. Recommendation mean there's a feature in which you can ask your colleagues, you can ask your friends, you can ask your managers, your ex-managers, even your professors at the universities to give you the recommendations that they have worked with you, they have you have worked under them, they have worked under you, they have worked like they have worked as on a same level, and they found you as a very good resource, and all the details about the project, about the job descriptions, each and everything, you can get the recommendations. And if someone gives you the recommendations, it's like appreciated to give them the recommendation in response as well. So this is the thing. After that, all the things, okay, LinkedIn is not a one day job. Like if you have done all these things, you have completed your profile, you have done you have created a good headline, you have chose a very good profile picture, you have wrote a very amazing career summary, but you have just forget about all these things and you're not using LinkedIn, and you're using it after a week, after a month, you're checking it after 6 months. So there's no like benefit of it. You have to be you have to stay active on the LinkedIn to get the to get the output of those things. So after that, how you can stay active on the LinkedIn? First of all, you need to comment on the relevant post. Relevant post means you don't need to I'm really sorry. You need to comment on the relevant post. You don't need to like comment on like those posts, those are controversial, those are related to the politics, those are related to the religion, race, anything. You don't need to comment on these kind of unnecessary posts. Try to engage with those posts that are relevant to your profile. You can like appreciate your friends if they are having something, they are posting that they got this they have started a new job, they got a new certification and something like that, something like good content. You can comment on that post. You don't need to engage on the irrelevant post. I'm saying it again and again and again, because it's not a good thing to engage on those posts, those controversial posts. After that, you can post your own insights. You can regularly create your own content. Like if you don't if you have nothing to, like you cannot create anything, you have like you don't have much time to create the content, you can do one thing. Just choose one template. You can paste your picture on that template, and you can add the your LinkedIn profile or email address or number, anything you want to add. The preferable thing is that you can add your portfolio link. If you don't have a portfolio link, you can add the LinkedIn link on that template. You can add your picture on that template. And what you can do, you can do like you can go on the Google and search about any motivational quotes, any good quotes, like quotes related to your work. Like if you are in the project management, you can look, search the quotes regarding the project management. If you are in the sales, you can go for that. If you are in the technical field, you can go for that quotes. Just copy that quotes and paste on that template and post that content on regular basis, or like like twice or thrice a week. So you can go for that post. Stay up to date on the trends. All you need to do is to be updated on the trends. That's what is going on in the market, and what is going on in your field. Like if you're a technical person, you must know that which stack is in demand nowadays, what technology is in demand nowadays. You must know about the trends, you must know about the LinkedIn trends, what they are offering nowadays, if there's any event coming up or anything like that. So you must be updated on that trends as well. After that, there is a keyword optimization. Most of the people don't know that LinkedIn is also a search engine. You do have no idea that for suppose if we talk about the software engineer, it is a kind of a keyword. Like if you are writing it in your profile, in your like you have writing, you have in expertise in ROR, Ruby on Rails, you have mentioned ROR. So it's your kind, it's a kind of your keyword. Like someone is going to LinkedIn and search ROR or Ruby on Rails, so what they're gonna find it, the people who have written ROR on their profiles. It can be in your skills, it can be in your about section, it can be in your career summary, it can be anywhere on your profile, but it must be on your profile. Keywords are very mandatory. That's why we encourage to add more skills to your profile, because it increase the visibility, it increase the chances to be on the top. And yeah, one more thing, if we are posting, like you create a post and you're posting, we are using most of the people are using hashtags. Hashtags are also for the keywords optimizations. That's why try to add the hashtags in your posts as well, to get more audience, to get more prominent. So these are the things. After that, review and update quarterly. All you need to do is to that, review your profile. Set a reminder to refresh your profile every few months, and maybe every few weeks. It depends on the work you are doing. Like if we talk about the social media marketers, they have a rapid change in their profiles. And if we talk about the software engineers who have been working in the same project for the last 2 years, so obviously there will not be a change, a rapid change in his profile. Obviously there will be a change after a month or 2 or 3, but there will not be a rapid change. So you need to identify the thing that how the things are changing, and you need to add those things in your profile, because you need to know that what you were yesterday and what you are today, and you have to tell the people as well that these were your skills yesterday, but some more skills are added to your profile, because of so many reasons. You have been in the new project, you have done a new certification, you have done anything new, so try to add in your profiles. Or and what more you can do is that adjusting your headline can be changed. You can change it according to the requirements, according to the needs, according to the need of the time. Like initially, for suppose that you're working as you can say assistant project manager, but you got a promotion last month, so you can add that you have promoted to the project manager, or you can change the assistant project manager to project manager, something like that. So obviously things are changing on regular basis, so you need to update your profile as well. You don't need to stuck to those profiles that are before. Like if your profile is like is something like today and it will be same like after 6 months, no, it's not possible. You must have learned something, you must have gained something, so you must have to write it on your LinkedIn profile as well. So this is all from my side. The final thought is that all you know that in 2024 standing out on LinkedIn is more than having a polished profile. LinkedIn is very important nowadays. Like if we talk about like after like few years ago, we used to have the hard copies of our CVs, and we used to go and submit our resumes to the offices or something like that. No, the things are changed now. There's a LinkedIn. 90% of the recruiters are using LinkedIn to find a resource. So you need to stand out. I told you that there are approximately 1 billion users over the LinkedIn. So all you need to do is that you have to boost your profile. How anyone can find your profile in those 1 billion people? The thing is that you can optimize your LinkedIn profile, you can use the right things, you can use the skills, you can choose a good headline, you can go for the good profile picture, you can go with the engaging career summary. These are some things. And obviously passive is also guiding us, is also a very good platform who is guiding, so that how can you stand out in those people, and how can you create your resumes and all these things. So This is all from my side. If you have any questions, you can let me know. And thank you very much. All the very best to you people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nida. Those were some excellent strategies. Building a LinkedIn profile nowadays is definitely like not necessarily a requirement, but it stands out. You stand out
Exactly.
compared to those who don't have one. So yeah, it complements with your resume in a fantastic way. So to create your own personal brand as well. So yeah,
Exactly.
if anyone has any questions for Nida, we have a Q&A session at the end of the workshop. So thank
Thank
you,
you very
Nida.
much. Thank you, Kim. Thank you.
So now we're on to one of the most crucial steps, tailoring your resume to fit specific job descriptions. Shurav is here to show us how small, targeted changes can make a big impact on the relevance and appeal of your resume. Shurav, over to you.
Righty, thank you, Kim. Once again, it's been a pleasure to have here with Pacific Workshop with you all guys, right? So it's been a wonderful session yesterday regarding we actually, you know, went into deep conversation regarding our resume contents, each of the content that we, discovered and talked about. Basically, it's gonna this session we're gonna definitely have a much more deeper conversation regarding tailoring the resume, right? So you know that nowadays job hunting has been very challenging, right? Especially when every position seems to have a lot of unique requirements. So where we can get these unique requirements for each of every job, right? So tailoring a resume may feel like extra work, but it's one thing is that it is one of the best ways to stand out in a bunch of candidate pool, right? So first of all, you have to understand the importance of tailoring a resume. So generic resumes doesn't often, don't work because they don't address the specific need of each job, because each job definitely have, let's say for an example, let's say you're working for a, maybe a tech company. So this particular position may be an app developer or maybe an iOS developer, basically needs certain skills, like you have to have Flutter, you have to have, let's say, mobile app development experience, and so on and so forth, right? So these are some of the things that should be in a resume, right? This particular keyword should be in a resume. So this tailoring actually, if you do so, tailoring shows you that you have read the job description, you understand the role, and you can meet the company's need, in which showcases you are as a responsible person. So that's very important to stand out in this job market, since it's a very tight job market right now. So understanding the importance of tailoring your resume is so much important right now. So you have to have the essence that why you should tailor a resume or not use a generic one, because each and every job is unique, and so does your resume should be, right? So that's there. So if we have to start off, we have to start off with the job description, right? Without understanding the job description, you cannot tailor a resume. So let's start off with that. So you should take time to really read this job description, whatever the job that you're applying for. And definitely, you should highlight the most important skills and qualifications, because nowadays recruiters are very smart. They don't want to, spend a lot of times with this job, job advertisement as well with this candidate resumes and everything, right? They're very short time within this short period of time, because recruiters has a, mindset that how much lesser time they can onboard someone is a target they have, right? So they don't actually want to spend a lot of time. So if you are a technical person, or if you know how to technically place yourself into something that can be a successful thing as well, so you have to highlight the most important skill that they are looking for. You have to highlight this from the JD. So for instance, let's say, if a digital marketing specialist job calls for a content creation, calls for a SEO, make sure that these terms appear in your resume, right? So when you work on these terms and you put it to your resume, it makes, an impression. You put this into your professional summary, you put this into your skills section, in your work section, right? So it shows that you are a natural fit for this position, right? So that's very important. So that's what you have to take from the JD. You have to read the JD thoroughly. You You have to take out these keywords and you have to put these keywords strategically in your resume in each of the sections that are relevant to do for, particularly in summary, the skill section, and the work experience guide, right? So that's first of all, that's one of the important thing. The next important thing is about writing the work experience section. Now, previously we told in the previous section is that we have to work on the achievements while we're providing the work experience section. Now, achievement, in a sense, we told you that you have to show that this is what you led, this is the number of people that you have led, and this is what you have bring to the table, right? Now, accordingly, what you have to do, you have to just tailor this whole thing into the need of this job that you are applying for. So if you have led projects before and the roles value leadership, you might say that I've led a team of 5, improving project timelines by 20%, adjusting, right? So these sort of things, like you have to adjust the language in a way that actually your resume feels more aligned with this role, more fit with this role, so that whenever, because let's say as we're giving an example of the tech role, so let's say the recruiter knows that he or she is actually looking for a person who has experience in iOS. Now, iOS is a keyword that he or she is looking into the resume. So if it is not in the resume, the exact word iOS, it will be much more difficult for the, it will take much more time for the recruiter to get and notice, oh no, he has actually worked with the various iOS platforms, but he has never mentioned the word iOS. So it doesn't happen in general cases, right? So you have to have these keywords into your resume, and particularly in different sections where these are very relevant to say yes, it is what it is. Because if you write wherever you want, it doesn't show the relevancy as well. So you have to keep in mind this as well, that it has to be relevant, and you have to adjust the language the way the recruiter want to see. And definitely the job description is your best friend in this case, right? So that's definitely there. Now, the third most important part, which is that once you're applying for this position, right? Definitely everyone nowadays, very, very, very less companies are there that you do not use ATS. Almost every company uses ATS, some or the other, right? So it has to be ATS friendly. Now, ATS have some of the tactics to uh, judge a resume on the very first hand, right? So to avoid overly complex formatting that can confuse ATS, it's one thing that you can take. You can go for simple formats, not much more clearer formats that can look very, very clean to the ATS and as well to the person who is looking behind with it, right? You can use recognizable section titles like as work experience. Don't say that career history or something like that. We can definitely go for, let's say that you can say career highlights, but career highlights is something that reflects something else. It's the highlights that you are showing on, right? It's not the work experience. So work experience, education, skills. These are some common taglines that you can use, which will help you to go through, right? That's there. um, you should definitely keep your formatting very simple, clean, and easy for an easy ATS parsing. um, in terms of any typos, definitely that's a good thing that you have to look and proofread your resume, because in terms of if there is any typos, definitely that would be a red flag for your end, right? And you have to be consistently check the dates, the job title, the formatting. Let's say if there is any gap, right? If there is any gap in your resume, let's say you have graduated in 2021 but you have started working in 2023, let's say. So within this 2021 and 2023, these 2 years, definitely you should write something. If there is any gap, generally what ATS does is it is generally dismisses this sort of, or degrades this sort of resumes in the later part. They don't show it on the front for the recruiters, and recruiters generally, if there is any classifications in that particular ATS, let's say A to let's say D, it could definitely gonna put you in D, which does not help you out to stand out in the recruitment phase. So if there is any gap, definitely you can say, let's say you have taken a career break, or you have taken a personal break, or you have gone for a voluntary experience, or you have gone for a vacation. You write this down in the same timeline, that from 2021 to 2023, I went for a vacation in these places. I have volunteered there. I've learned a lot of culture. I've talked with different people. So this also shows different attributes of yourself as well, which can you can use on tailoring the other parts of the JD that you're applying for, right? So it is more of a mindset that you have to have rather than the skill set, because you have to have this mindset that whatever comes in my plate, I'm going to use it accordingly the job that I'm applying for, right? So whatever I have, let's say you're particularly for HR roles. So if you have a, like, let's say as I'm giving a career break example, so going for a vacation, meeting with people, different culture, diversity, these are the sort of things that HR people love, right? There are a lot of things that in HR basically goes on with this term. So you can use those things for your positive benefit into and portray it in your resume. So overall you have to have a positive mindset, a conscious effort while you're trying to prepare these things, which also demonstrates you as a person, also demonstrate your responsibility and your your effort to this company or to the job that you're applying for. So overall it makes a certain good impact, right? So with these steps, tailoring your resume becomes a lot of easier job, and it can help you create a resume that is not just about past work. It's also something that connects directly with this company, and this is what the employers generally look for, right? So this is more of an understanding point of view. Now there are definitely some tips and tricks. So there are like a couple of quick tailoring checklists. So first of all, you have to analyze the job description, and then you have to incorporate these keywords from the job description naturally into your resume. It should not sound like that you're just pushing it. Let's say you don't have any experience with payroll. You don't write I have experience in payroll. What you can do is that you can do a course on payroll, and you can say I have the knowledge in payroll and I have assisted as this with one of my colleagues towards payroll in a particular certain time, right? So these sort of things that you can use. You can align your work experience accordingly. Let's say that you're applying for this iOS position, but your recent experiences is on backend developer, right? But before backend developer you are an iOS developer. I'm just saying for an example. Do not take it just literally right? So definitely you have to place the relevant experience in the forward section so that recruiter knows, okay, right, this is what I'm looking for and this is what it is in his resume, right? So these are the sort of things that you have to look for. And you can definitely regarding the typos, regarding the spacings, regarding the overall outlook, you can definitely use Grammarly. You can use job scan till if possible to check the alignment with job description and everything, right? So there are lots of different tools and technology that you can use to do this. And definitely you have to have the mindset initially that yes, for each of the job I have to go through the JD thoroughly, and I have to understand that if I need a resume that needs to be tailored according to this job. And in most cases you should, and it does actually have a requirement in most cases, because you have a generic resume which says that I have 5 years of experience in this field, and you're just applying with these in different categories of the field that you have worked or in your common work zone, right? So it doesn't work that way. So you have to tailor, and you have to have the mindset initially. And if you have the mindset, these are the tricks, these are the components that you have to work on. So yeah, that's pretty much from my end. If you have any question, definitely we have a Q&A session. We can answer that these parts there. And so Kim, over to you. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, Shrav. That was definitely well said. And now we're going to approach the Q&A session that you've all been waiting for. So I'll have all the speakers here on stage for you guys. So I'll start with the direct messages first, and then I'll come over to you, uh, Mark and Kay as well. Don't worry. So, hi guys.
Hi, everyone.
Hi
Nice one, Sharav.
everyone.
Mark, Sharov, Nidam, you guys rocked.
Hey guys, yes, you did well so far. Yeah, that's been amazing.
Awesome. So let's start the Q&A. So these are some that I've summarized from our anonymous questions. So this is for LinkedIn. So For those early in their careers or fresh graduates, what tips would you give them to make their LinkedIn profile appear more established?
Okay. So, for the fresh graduates, they obviously don't have experience, but they definitely have some skills, and they can write their skills, and they can write the things that they have learned in their universities, in their high schools. So they can write these things, and they can write a very engaging career summary that they are interested in these careers, they are interested in these skills, and that's how they can make a LinkedIn profile appear more good. And after that, they can go with the appealing headline. As I told you, that headline matters a lot. So they can go for some, like, you can say, if they are fresh graduates, they can write that they are interested, they have the skills. If they're interested in sales, suppose if they're interested in engineering, they are tech graduates, so they can write about the skills they have. The like if they're tech graduates, they can write about their final year project, that they have done their project in ROR, in Python, in any of the programming language or tech stack. So they can use these things in their LinkedIn profile.
Amazingly said. Definitely, headlines are, as you said, are one of the few things that recruiters firstly see, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
So I hope you guys learned from that. And actually, Mark Patigayon has a question here. He dreams to be one of you guys someday. So his question is, as an aspiring recruiter, what should I look for in each section of the candidate's resume to identify the strongest applicants? So I think this is for you, Mark.
Okay, yeah, I think so, Kim. Well, as an aspiring recruiter, well, basically, it will boil down based on the job description. As a recruiter, my basis is always the job description before I look on to the CV of the candidates that I've received. So, having said that, um, since the JD is your your basis when it comes to scanning the CV, I always start with looking for the skills that match to the job description, followed by the career summary. The reason why I go right away or straight away to the career summary to make sure that the job based on the job description matches to what he is currently doing on his current company. And by then, I have this decision making if this candidate is a good fit or not. And sometimes there are some keywords also that would help, to consider if a candidate is a best fit or not um, to a specific job, basically. So those are the elements, or I would say the things that they need to look, or that Mark needs to look to a candidate's resume when he got a job in the recruitment field.
So I hope that answers your question, Mark. I see you have a lot of questions, and we'll go each of them one by one. So actually, Mark has another question in regarding to cover letters. So he says, "What are the best practices for addressing the cover letter to the right person, and how much of a difference does a personalized greeting make?"
Okay, firstly, I will address the later part of the question. Personalized greeting, like I've said in my presentation, that makes a lot of difference. You have to make sure that you're using the word. Like I personally don't recommend using dear, like I told, because I have faced those people who don't like being called dear, because they consider themselves very rigid or that kind of stuff. So you have to cater everyone, right? So catering everyone involves, I think greetings is the way to go. And then you're using with their name, and you basically, when you research the company, you will get the gist that what kind of a person you're dealing with, what kind of a hiring manager you're dealing with, right? So that gives you, even in some cases you would have to use to whom it may concern, because people would not like being directly addressed. So it's a very varied, you can say, area. But yeah, I mean, most of the times personalized greeting, it It works. It works. You get the attention of the hiring manager. Best practices for a resume covering letter to the right person. Do your research about the company. See about, like I told you, everything flows down from the vision. HR being the company's moderator, you can say. We were actually implementing that vision and those missions inside the company, and the goals were, but making those policies that makes our workforce work towards that goal. So you have to make sure that what you can get it out of the HR POC from LinkedIn. You can get it out of someone who's in the strategic role. Try to understand what the company wants in the longer run, and maybe that is one way you can address your cover letters to the right person, and in the right context, I would say.
Awesome, well said. So I hope, Mark, you are satisfied with that answer. Very well detailed and lots of insights. So this is a question regarding tailoring the resume. So an anonymous person said that, do you have any tips for applicants on finding industry specific terms or keywords to include in their resumes?
Right. So, industry specific terms, basically, tailoring the resume basically depends on what sort of role that you're seeking, the relevancy that you have with experience and the job experience, right? So, whatever the job that you're applying, you have to go through the JD thoroughly, that what is the recruiter actually looking for, the hiring team is actually looking for. So if they're looking for any particular stack, let's say that in terms of there are a lot of companies that currently using um, what should I say? There's an app called Go app, right? So basically, this is actually used for the streaming session. So there are different companies. Previously, my previous company, Augmenix, is currently using the Go app for their own apps and everything. A lot of companies in the US and UK also uses these things. So you have to have this idea about this global trend, that what people are currently using, what are the latest technology that is being used for new applications in job boards and everything. So you have to have this idea, and accordingly you have to tailor your generic resume to that. And definitely whenever you're applying for any positions, you have to have a look into this specific text section, that what are the app that they're actually looking for, and have to put this if you have the relevant experience. If you do not have, let's say as per knowledge you have it, right? Let's say you don't have the idea, you never used Go anytime now. So but you do have the idea about what Go does, what are the specifications that Go actually is different from other streaming platforms. So if you have this ideology, somewhere in the skill set you can say that I didn't have, or in the work experience you can say that there is a certain project that we actually did, but we didn't ever use Go, but I did have a course, I did have a knowledge on Go, that how it works and how it is different than this particular app that we use for, right? So these are the sort of things that you can do in terms of tailoring your resume.
So even if they don't have experience, so they can use those keywords as well, right?
Yeah, definitely, actually, regarding the example that I said, the technical field is such a field that it's ever expanding. It's never stopped in the right place. So let's say someone is, Angular was something that was very very famous for a certain period of time for the front end, but nowadays it just went on to something else, right? So it always goes on. For streaming, there are different platforms. Go is a very new thing that came into the US market and is been booming with Go, right? So these are the sort of things that you have to be continuously teach yourself upon. And definitely according to the job that you're applying to, definitely if you do not have the experience as well, while talking with the recruiter, while putting the resume, you can definitely put these things into that. I don't have the experience, but I know that how it works. Let's say in terms of someone working in the HR, not everyone works with the like compliance, not everyone works with the policies, but definitely with your colleague, with the team, you definitely have exchange some of the information. Let's say you run the payroll, right? Now with the payroll and with the policy, there's a big overlapping that happens. with the operations. So not everyone works with the operations, but you can definitely say that yes, I have exchanged this information with my colleague and had some insight about this particular aspects of this whole thing, so that it gives you a window to talk to this recruiter. It gives you a window and opportunity to make yourself available to that. If it works, then definitely that's a good thing. If it doesn't, that's not a very bad thing, that because at least you have created a window of opportunity for yourself.
So I guess it's about taking that chance.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So someone is interested in switching careers. So we have Kay here. She says, for applicants switching careers like myself, specifically to tech, how would you suggest structuring the resume to highlight transferable skills and relevant experience? This is for you, Mark.
Okay. Right. Well, to answer that question, I think Kay, you have to consider first what strength or experiences you possess that aligns with the job that you're aiming for. So ultimately, it will boil down to the question, what value can you bring to the table? So once you figure that out, you start to strategically highlighting your transferable skills, relevant experience in any tech related projects or education, and also by tailoring each section of to reflect your strengths and skills that aligns with the requirements basically, and highlights both your commitment and also related to the field, that your readiness to leverage um, prior skills in relevant ways basically.
Awesome. Hope that answers your question, Kay. So we have Mark again. So he asks, what are the most important keywords candidates should use in their LinkedIn profiles to increase their chances of being found by recruiters?
Is this for
So
me? Yeah, this
yes,
is
this
for
is
me.
like
Sorry.
yes.
Yeah, they can use the keywords related to their profile, related to their skills, related to their expertise. Like if as I told you, that if someone is a software engineer, then they can use the keywords like if they have if they are a backend developer, they can use the tech stacks, they can use the languages they used to work on. If they are front end developers, they can use those things like html, css. And if they have a grip on react or on angular or anything, if in sales, they can write about the b2b, b2c, c2c, something like that. If like in the hr, they can write about their expertise. If they are the recruiters, they can write about the recruitment things. If they are more into like people management, they can write about those things. If they are in the payroll, then they can use these kind of keywords. Like keywords are like must be according to your skill sets, according to your expertise. And this is
Amazing. So for example, what if I am a candidate but wants to find two different jobs?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
For example, I am a software engineer, but I want
Okay.
to apply to software engineering jobs, as well as, for example, data analyst positions.
Yeah,
Or
so
do
you
I
can
need
write
to
down.
be specific?
No, you don't need to be specific. If you want to, if you are interested in the analyst role, you can write these things as well. You can write these things in your summary, in your career summary, that you are interested in the analyst role as well. You can write in your skills. Obviously, if you are interested in the analyst role, you must have the skills about that. You must have learned something about that, or maybe you have done some kind of certification in analysis. So you can use those skills in your certification things, in your summary and all that, in your headline, that you're interested in the analyst role.
Awesome. Thanks for asking my personal question regarding about that. So
Okay.
this one is another question. So, what advice would you give on balancing general qualifications with specific job related skills in the resume? This is in regards to like tailoring, I think.
Yeah. So, what advice would you give on balancing general qualifications with specific job-related skills? Um, so if you know that there is a specific skill set some recruiter or someone is actually looking for, what you can do is that you can basically, you know, make a relevancy with the general aspects that you have. So in terms of in terms of example, we can say that, let's say someone is looking for, um, let's say you're applying for a marketing specialist position, right? So in a marketing specialist position, you have to have the idea that what are the like general job responsibility that a marketing specialist has to do, right? That person needs to have the knowledge of SEO. That person needs to have knowledge on, advertising, traffic management, Google ads. So these are some common items that you need to have the idea, and generally you can put those things accordingly into your resume, in terms of your general qualification.
Thank you for that. And now this is for our last question for the day. This is for you, Sharos. So a person asks, do you have any advice for those applying to multiple jobs on how to keep their cover letters unique but efficient?
Okay, I think most of the people they keep it, one, it's one format or two at max. If you want to make unique, I always tell people, be honest about what you want. There's so much, people are not clear about what they want actually. And like I said in my presentation as well, the first step is to know yourself. What you want to do, what kind of career do you want, and then you can answer where do you want to go. And then you will land to some of the companies that basically match your lifestyle, that basically match with your skill set, all of those things, right? And then when you're writing the cover letter, there are some tips, obviously. Like I told you guys about attention span. The attention span of our generation is pretty short. We like things short. So be concise. I cannot, emphasize on it enough. Uh, Keep it concise, and write, be honest. Let me tell you one thing: when you're honest in these times, you actually surprise hiring managers. They're like, this guy is too much straightforward. And what companies are basically looking for, they're straightforward people, truthful people who are not pretending to be anyone. So make sure that personality of yours, that straightforwardness, that is reflected not only on your cover letter, but your resume, your CV, your detailed CV as well, everything. So your LinkedIn, like Nida said, if you're looking for two jobs, you have to be sincere about your career transition. Otherwise, the hiring managers, they're going to figure it out that you're trying to, fool them. So don't do that, because ultimately that is going to exhaust you. So advice number one: be genuine, be who you are. Then keep your cover letter concise. Personalization, it's very important. You have to personalize with people, because what do you do with with those emails that get automatically subscribed? You don't even read them, right? You delete them, because they be following a specific format. That is the case with the hiring managers as well. So if something doesn't catch our eye, it's not personalized, it doesn't address our company, not me, my company, it wouldn't catch my eye. So you have to address the company, you have to address the hiring manager, you have to address the role, you have to address the skill sets required for the role, you have to address that how your expertise align with those skill sets. So those are the things that you need to cover in a precise way in your cover letter, and I'm sure the hiring managers will get the notice of you.
Awesome. So just being straightforward and honest is generally the best way approach in a cover letter, right?
Yeah, I mean, you face difficulties on that approach as well, but once you reach a certain threshold, then it's that it becomes natural for you to work. It doesn't seem like work. You enjoy your work, and it's like something you're meant to do. So I would always appreciate that approach. Initially there are difficulties, but if you're sincere, you'll do something in your life that you actually want to do.
Awesome. Thank you. That was very insightful, and thank you everyone for answering all those questions. I definitely believe that all of our participants are very happy with your answers. And also, I would like to thank the participants as well as those anonymous TMs as well regarding your questions. Thank you, Kay. Thank you, Mark. So, yeah, thank you so much. And thank you for participating. Head over to our Discord channel and upload your resume because you have a chance to be featured. Your whole resume, your whole personality, your whole brand on our social media channels or outlet. So don't pass out on that chance so you can get more exposure. So if you have any specific questions, feel free to tag me as well. Let's make the most of this time and support each other's journey to a perfect resume. So, thank you all for participating today.
Thank you, Kim, for
Uh,
hosting us. Thank you so much.
Thank
thank
you,
you,
everyone.
guys. So, thank you. Tomorrow, we're diving into the post application strategies and we'll be announcing who will be selected on their best resume. So, get ready for some fantastic tips. So, thank you again for your enthusiasm. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Sharav. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Nida. And thank you, Sharose, for your wonderful, and insightful presentations.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you so
you. It
much,
was a lovely
guys.
session. Thank you.
See you
Bye.
tomorrow. Bye.
See you. Have a wonderful day and see you all
You.
tomorrow.
Likewise, thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Have a great day, everyone.